The local people tend to think that Aramil is just a boring satellite near Yekaterinburg, but today I'm going to debunk this erroneous notion. Despite this unattractive season when everything is melting, including snow, dirt, and even asphalt roads, I'll try to show you some hidden gems in this small town. Just to remind you, my name is Daria, and on this channel I talk about living in the Urals, about its culture, nature and people. So, as we say, ну чё, погнали? Believe it or not, but this is a music school. Here I studied when I was a teenager, and after college I worked at this school for 4 years. It is unbelievably tiny, but unfortunately the municipal government hasn't offered anything more spacious, though the atmosphere inside is warm and homely. This building is also known as the first teacher's house. Initially it was a 2-story building, the ground floor was made of stone, and it was home to a teacher called Guskin, while the ground floor served as classrooms. Besides, this place attracted creative local citizens who organized meetings, musical evenings and concerts here. So we can say that now this building has exactly the same purpose it is used to do a century ago. And as I feel, it is touching and inspiring preservation of nice traditions. Now we are standing in the historical market square. It played an important role in the past and was a stage for plenty of historical events. But let's focus on this architectural landmark. This Holy Trinity Church was built in the middle of the 19th century, but it had several smaller predecessors made of wood or stone. The first mentioning of such churches dates back to 1695. All of them were destroyed by fire or Bashkir troops. Finally, in 1824, Alexander I visited Aramil, inspected the church, and afterwards the local authorities decided to build a new one. The architect was a famous master called Mikhail Malachov, and symbolically it became his last project. In 1830, the church was constructed, and now you can enjoy its pure simplicity, lightness, and harmony. Metaphorically, this place is the heart of the town. Aramil began here when the local Cossack leader, called Mikhail Sarapulets, chose this location to build a fortress on the hill. For this reason, the oldest buildings in Aramil are located mainly around this place. Originally, the fortress was surrounded by wooden walls with 2 watching towers. Inside there was a church, warehouses, stables, houses for soldiers, and other buildings. By the way, the reconstruction of such a fortress was erected in Aramil recently. If you want to see it in a video, leave your comment below. Also here you can see a pedestrian bridge decorated with red arches. They look a bit Japanese, only God knows why the designers decided it was a good idea. This bridge was built instead of an older wooden one. You still can see the remains of it. Few people know that Aramil prepared hundreds of pilots, aircraft mechanics and parachute jumpers at this aviation school. Its history dates back to the 30s. The original idea was that young people would study and work at the same time, but it failed, as the study took too much time and effort. The students lived nearby, and their canteen was located in the first teacher's house. Also, there was an aerodrome not far from the town. By the beginning of the Second World War, the school managed to prepare over 1,500 pilots. Fortunately, the building survived all the troubled years and is still being used. There are several offices here, though a touch of renovation would be very desirable. The history of the textile mill in Aramil has been long and marked both by successes and failures. It was founded in 1878, and the building was originally made of stone. Also, it had a dam, dormitories for the workers, 2 storehouses, and other buildings. At that time, the factory belonged to the Zlakazov's family. It was one of the most affluent merchant families in the Urals region. The factory produced up to 500 ashins of fabric made of wool from Middle Asia. There were 2 steam and 3 water turbines, and almost 1,000 people who worked there. The factory brought about 1 million rubles each year to the owners. In 1917, the factory was nationalized, like many other plants after the October Revolution. And numerous changes followed. For example, the 8-hour workday was implemented, though the production level fell drastically. In another difficult period of our history, in the 90s, the factory closed down. It didn't survive the crisis. Now it belongs to an individual, but it is in a very sorry state, of course. The man-made lake in Aramil is one of the best-known tourist attractions in the town. It appeared in the middle of the 19th century as a result of the dam created on this site. The lake banks are packed with buildings, mainly country cottages, but this neat embankment attracts a lot of locals and visitors by nice views and the monument to the soldiers' coat, which reminds us of the Aramil factory contribution to the victory over Nazi Germany. About a quarter of all the fabric for soldiers' clothes was produced here, in this small town. Isn't it a great deed, how do you think? Our next object of interest is the flour milling complex in Aramil. The fact is that flour milling has always been a popular business in this town, which can be partially explained by its geographical position. Aramil is the place where important trade routes went through, and these roads were used to transfer grain from fertile southern lands to Yekaterinburg. There were plenty of small mills on this site in Aramil, and many individual merchants were engaged in this sphere. Ivan Belinkov was one of such business people. For a better result, he decided to use a steam mill instead of water mills, and later his mill evolved into a flour milling complex, which produced flour for the whole region. Unfortunately, the plant met the same fate as the textile factory, and it shut down in 2004. We were surprised a lot that on the day we visited this place to make the video, the complex buildings were being brought down. Apparently, they are going to demolish everything here to construct something instead, residential buildings perhaps. So very soon no one will even remember of this place. This building deserves your special attention. It is a community center built in 1974. Now it attracts mainly children and teenagers who can practice here different activities such as singing, dancing, playing games, and so on. Also, there is a cinema and a local history museum. We were going to visit it, but unfortunately it is open only on weekdays. But the most interesting feature of the center is its facade mosaics. They are brilliant examples of Soviet monumental decorative art. The mosaics depict ordinary life of Soviet people, different types of art, fairy tales characters, and even the zodiac signs. The last topic is especially surprising for the Soviet period. Unfortunately, the mosaics are decaying, and some of them are partial or completely damaged. This is truly upsetting, but I hope that somehow it will be possible to save them. Well, that's all what I wanted to show you today. Thank you very much for watching. See you later. Bye.